Hi everyone, Larry here. Welcome to Travel Guide and Photography. If you are new to the channel, thank you and welcome. If returning to the channel, thank you and welcome back. And welcome to beautiful Thailand. In fact, welcome to my land. I'm filming in my backyard. I thought I'd step out of the office, come out and show you where I live. I live in a very small town in northeast Thailand. And as you can see, my property is surrounded by rice paddies and jungle. And I really kind of like that. This is only one place I live. Those of you that's been following my channel for a while know that most of the year, at least in a normal year, I live and work on cruise ships throughout the world. In March of 2020, myself and my shipmates got kicked off our ships due to COVID. The good news is cruising is starting again. So you're going to see another shift in locations soon. I've been awarded a contract with Norwegian Cruise Lines, and starting June 6th, on my 67th birthday, I joined the Norwegian Cruise Line Jade in Montenegro. For the next 7 to 8 months, I'm going to be cruising around the Greek Isles, Middle East, and Africa. Hopefully, as crew, we're going to be able to get off the ship, which we don't know if we're going to be able to yet or not, and that way I'm going to be able to give you some great videos from those areas. I keep hearing all these background noises, I keep hearing all these roosters. I don't know if you can hear them, but I can certainly hear them. I'm not used to this. I'm not even used to being on video. Even though I've been published for the last 40 years, starting in March was my very first time when I started doing videos. So please bear with me. I'm learning all about this, and I hope I get this right, and I hope I'm getting a little bit better as the weeks go on. Another thing I want to get out of the way. I've been asked a handful of times if the photographs and the videos are mine or if they're stocked. I've been a published photojournalist since 1979. All the photographs in my videos are my images. So what are we going to talk about today? As we said last week, which last week's video was on Angkor Wat, the small loop or the small circuit. I said what we're going to do is this week focus on what they call the large loop or the grand circuit. It's another 6 temples, and we're going to go through those. Just like last week, I'm not going to talk a lot about the history. If you want to learn about the history of Angkor Wat, there are plenty of places online or in YouTube you can go and listen to the history. I'll touch on it very briefly because that's not what this channel is about. It's not a history lesson. This channel is hopefully for you to benefit from my experiences and my advice on different places that you may want to go. So again, let's talk about Angkor Wat. And again, this week we're going to talk about the large loop or the large circuit. First, I want to touch on some general information just like we did last week. You don't stay in Angkor Wat, you stay in Siem Reap. And Siem Reap is about 3.5 miles from Angkor Wat, or a $5 tuk-tuk ride. They use US dollars in Cambodia. At least they do in Siem Reap and Angkor Wat. And the ATMs themselves give you US dollars. So a lot of times there's no need to go inside a bank itself. First, I want to let you know I'm probably going to mispronounce the vast majority of the names of the temples. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I'm back. As you can see, I'm in a different location. And that's because even though it's still very early in the morning, it's very, very hot. We're in the middle of summer here in Thailand. So I thought I'd come alongside the house, try to get into a little bit of shade, and film from here. Behind me is my fish pond, and then behind that is jungle. The first temple I want to talk about is Peachcon. Peachcon was built in 1191. It is the largest of the flat-style Peon temples, and was thought to house 1,000 monks as a Buddhist university. It's really a great place to visit. You have a lot of time to walk around and explore the grounds. The next temple I want to talk about is Neak Pean. Neak Pean is actually a very small statue on a very small island in the middle of a very small pond. So it's not a temple as you would think of one in Angkor Wat. But what's unique about Neak Pean, to get there, you have to cross over an earthen dam that's maybe 4 feet wide. On each side of that earthen dam
are two beautiful lakes, and you can get some absolutely amazing photographs there. So I spent quite a lot of time just photographing the lakes. As I said, the temple itself, just to me at least, was not that impressive. The next temple I want to talk about is Tao San. Tao San is a very small temple. In fact, it's the smallest of all the temples in the Angkor Wat complex. But what's really unique about Tao San is it has probably the most diverse and intricate carvings on its walls. I literally spent hours there roaming the grounds. Again, not very big, but again, I spent hours there. It was just amazing looking at these sculptures and the intricate carvings of the walls. I think you'll really enjoy it. It's well worth going to. Go and visit Tao San. The next temple I want to talk about is Preah Rup. Preah Rup is one of the mountain temples. It was built in 967. Once you enter the inner grounds and past the outside walls, you'll notice it's a huge temple inside. Again, with all these temples, I want to tell you, you really should climb to the top. It's going to take a little bit of effort. Take your time, as all the steps are usually fairly uneven, but the views you're going to get and the vistas are just amazing. Next, let's talk about East Mebon. East Mebon was built in the 10th century and dedicated to the Hindu god Shiva. It's also a Preah Rup style or a mountain style temple, meaning it has lots of towers and there's a large temple inside that you can climb up and enjoy the view on top of the temple itself. Outside are some really nice sculptures of elephants that guard the temple itself. Last, let's talk about the temple Banteay Srei. Banteay Srei is an absolutely beautiful temple. In fact, the name means Citadel of Women or Citadel of Beauty. It was built in the 10th century and it was also dedicated to the Hindu god Shiva. Being built out of red sandstone, it was fairly easy to carve, and there's some really beautiful and intricate designs and carvings, a lot of places to walk through different passageways, a lot of little inner temples, one of my very, very favorite places to go and to visit. So take the time to go see Banteay Srei. You're not going to be disappointed. It's going to be great. So that wraps up our visit of Angkor Wat. Last week, the small circuit or the small loop. This week, the large circuit or the grand circuit. I hope that you benefited from my experiences and my advice, because that's the entire point of this channel. I want to give you some ideas on where to travel throughout the world. Maybe a little bit of advice and some insight at some places that you're thinking about going to. If you like travel guide and photography, please subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. Please hit the bell to be notified of my next post, and please hit the like button. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below, and I promise I will answer each and every one of them. If there's some place you're thinking about going and I haven't done a video, please let me know that too. I've been to over 80 countries, and if I've been there, I'll do a video for you. Again, thank you for visiting Travel Guide and Photography. Again, please subscribe, share it with your friends, and it will help me to keep this channel going. Thank you.